All right. So many things to get into with you. Um, why I thought about you, inspiring story, inspiring story, um, roadblocks, things of that nature. Resilience is huge. When I think of you, I think of that. Um, so just wanted to just pick your brain and see what's going on with you, but the way I want to take it. So usually people will introduce you and whatnot. I really want you to like take us where you want. So the only thing I'm going to ask you is, who are you?
Okay. Well, my name is Chrissy Monroe. Obviously, that's not my government name. That is the stage name that I made up when I got onto Love and Hip Hop New York season 5, which is where most people who watch social media and just most people know me from. But I'm just a regular girl from Baltimore City who came to New York and followed her dreams and made them happen. Yeah.
Okay. I love that. I love that. I love that. So Baltimore. How was life before fame growing up?
Wild. Have you ever watched The Wire on HBO? Remember that show?
Yeah,
Omar? Yeah, it's just like that.
just like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's very rough city. And I am from the heart of Baltimore.
Mm,
It, it's a whole different world, and I will always have love for Baltimore. We do have the best seafood in the world, but
mhm.
um, I moved out when I moved to New York when I was 29 and just started my whole life over. And I said, if I don't leave before I'm 30, I'm never going to leave. Um,
Okay.
and I was doing a lot of things down there. I started out, was a high school dropout, a very dysfunctional family. I've been on my own since I've been about 16. Started dancing in the strip clubs in Baltimore around 17, and just never looked back. Got into making a lot of fast money back then. Started dating a gentleman from New York who was also making fast money down in Baltimore.
Mhm.
Was with him for 10 years until he was murdered when I was
Wow.
27. Yeah, it's very, yeah, very tragic. And I loved him. I mean, I was 17 to 27, I was with him. And we
Wow.
had so much fun. But he used to bring me to New York on the weekends. That's how I got acclimated with it here. And man, we had so much fun going out to the clubs. I would see celebrities and, oh my,
Oh,
there's the supermodels, and like this is the 90s, and things
yeah.
were popping. I'm like, man, this is better than Baltimore. This is where I need to be. And I was already acting and modeling down there since I was 12. And I had done some things, bit parts, extra roles, things like that.
Mhm, mhm.
But I knew New York is where my opportunities, big opportunities, were going to be. And unfortunately, like I said, he passed away when I was 27. Had to tie up some loose ends, and I made that move when I was 29. I packed up a U-Haul in the middle of winter, came back, and have had no.
Wow.
I've never been back, and I have no regrets. I mean, I've been down to visit, but
I
yeah.
love that. I love that. It's just important, I think, to understand the concept. Do you feel like it shaped you in the way you are right now? Like, do you feel like if you didn't go through what you went through, you wouldn't be who you are? Or you would have, maybe you would, but the journey would have been different?
I believe everything's in God's timing, and it's already been written in God's plans for us. Everything happens as it should. I really don't have any regrets. A lot of tragedies that I think could have been avoided with a lot of people that I've lost, but
Mm,
ultimately, a lot of the poor decisions they made led them to their destiny.
yeah.
But I couldn't let their poor decisions stop my destiny, and I had to keep
Mm,
it moving, even though it wasn't easy.
mm,
But no, I've always been very strong minded since I've been a child. Like, since I was a child, I knew I wanted to be famous. I knew I was different. I knew I was gifted. I knew I had a lot of things to share with the world. Um,
mhm.
I always stood out. I was tall, dressed differently from other children, but I always had that confidence, just God given confidence since childhood. And I had a very abusive mother who was always telling me I wasn't going to be shit. Um, you know, but in spite of all that, of having no support, I still just was deaf to it and just kept going forward. That's just
Uh-huh.
God, I think. Yeah. And I'm not going
So
to get all.
no, I love. Actually, I was about to say you can actually stop right there because you're leading me exactly where I wanted to go. Um, that mindset, the focus that you had, the always kind of blocking the noise or the distraction at some point. You've been in the entertainment industry for a minute,
Mhm.
or some people knowing you and whatnot. What moment would you say truly launched Chrissy Monroe?
Man, the minute I walked on to my first scene on Love and
Uh-huh.
Hip Hop, it was a nightclub scene with Yandy and
Okay.
the Yeezys. And I walked in with my dog and I had my outfit planned for days. And this was just that moment of life. Like, you see all those real big cameras and the people,
Yeah.
and you're walking on set as one of the main stars of the show. Like, this was it. Like,
Okay.
wow. And I had changed my name for Love and Hip Hop. I had deleted my old
Oh,
Facebook.
okay.
I was already warned. They're going to go after every single, they're going to dig into your whole life, everything. So I kind of made the stage name and stuff for Love and Hip Hop for Chrissy Monroe. And I picked Monroe because I've obviously loved Marilyn Monroe. She was always a legend to me. So,
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I love that. I love that. So just that's really a random question, but like what was the biggest misconception or is, if it's still the case, that people had about you after Love and Hip Hop?
that I'm some mean villain and
Mm,
home wrecker because I was dating a married man. But,
mm,
he was out of that marriage for years. He was not living
yeah.
with that woman. It was just still on paper. But, people love to look at things negatively and
Hmm.
vilify you. Once again, deaf to it. You have to have a thick
Yeah.
skin. To be in the entertainment business in any capacity. You, I don't
It comes with
care.
it.
Say whatever they
Yeah.
want. They're not stopping anything. But yeah, their misconceptions of me don't matter. Only the people who I love and care about and who really know me, their opinions and misopinions or whatever, if that's even a word, matter.
So you keep leading me to like next questions because my next question for you was about to be how do you handle pressure? Well, how do you handle pressure being in the public eye, and then how do you manage like your work life balance or just keeping your private life private and then being Chrissy Monroe?
Well, I know what I signed up for, and it's
Mm,
kind of be careful what you wish for. I can't say
okay.
I was 100% ready for everything that they warned me were going to happen when that first episode aired. But it was weird because I'm still me, but they're looking at me like I'm some kind of like superstar, but I'm just still the same person because remember that I've been acting and modeling my whole life. Yeah, VH1 was a big, big look, but I'm wasn't new to being in front of the camera, but I'm getting a big worldwide audience now where people know who I am. I mean, I couldn't go to the store. You know, you got to put on makeup or look halfway decent now because people recognize you and come up and just start conversations, or they'll FaceTime their mom, look who's here. And it's like, oh, God, I'm just trying to buy
Yeah.
some wee wee pads for my dog. Please let me go. But it's part of the game, and if it's not for the fans, then there's no you, right? So
True.
I was armed and ready mentally. I knew what I got myself into. I knew what I signed up for, and I have no regrets. Some people can't handle it,
Mm,
but it's entertainment. It's a show. That's what it is, and you got to
yeah.
keep that in mind. So, and just block the haters and embrace the people who love you. I can't say there's really any pressure. I enjoyed it because there's a lot more perks than there were negative things. Than with being on TV, like you get a lot of people start treating you real nice that weren't treating you nice before. And then it's all fake, but it is what it is.
It is what it is, huh?
Yeah. A lot of
Okay.
doors open that would have never opened.
Okay. 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 Um, Speaking of doors opening, something that really like caught my attention about you was Survive, Drive Global.
Yes.
What is it? what inspired you to even start it?
Okay, so in a nutshell, when I left Love and Hip Hop, I got involved with a younger man. He was about 15 years younger than me.
Hmm.
Anyway, and it was a whirlwind. He was cute, and it was just, I was in the height of my career having fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, this guy unalived me. I know they don't like to use that word on YouTube, but anyway,
Yeah.
um, he hated me. He told me he hates females. No, he wasn't like that in the beginning. Um, and unfortunately, yeah, I have permanent hearing damage in my left ear. He dislocated my jaw, cracked my rib, black eyes,
Oh my
the whole
God.
thing. So very long story. Um, I couldn't get him out of my house. He was paroled here. He had nowhere else to move to. He didn't have another address. So I was leaving my own home. I even packed up my whole home and was out looking to move to just get out and away from him. It was a
Um,
nightmare. When I say a nightmare, anyway, finally, I eventually did. He went out and committed a crime and ended up in jail. Thank God, because I used to pray to God, please let him get hit by a bus, anything. God, please just get him
yeah.
away. Because he would just punch me in my face just for turning the radio station. Because people victim
Mm.
blame. I didn't know about victim blaming back then. Because people are like, well, what did you do for him to do that? Well, what could any woman possibly ever really do to deserve to get beat up by a man, right? There's nothing
Mhm.
anybody can do that deserves that. Period. Leave. Leave the woman. If she cheats on you, fine. Leave her alone. That hurts
Mm.
worse, right? You know, there's nothing that gives anyone the right to beat the shit out of somebody. And there was nothing I did wrong. This man told me he hates females. And proven so for the last few relationships he's been in, because I've had women reach out to me, he's done the same and worse too. Um,
Mm.
Several other women. He's a serial woman beater, but thank God he's left me alone. Anyway, when I went to go press charges, when I finally got the courage, because I was in
Mhm.
fear of my life, I was getting death threats from family
Mhm.
members of his and all of that. I still went and tried to get some justice for myself. They
Mm.
only gave him 3 months for what he did to me. I had photos, I had medical reports from the hospital, from the ER, everything. 3 months. And he was already in jail on a robbery charge. And they ran it concurrent, which means he didn't do not one extra minute for what he did to me. You know how
Mm.
pissed I was? And I'm in the public
Can you
eye. Like,
imagine?
you know, I need to talk about this. Like, they did not help me at all. The justice system failed me miserably. And I can only
Mm.
imagine how many other people, because domestic violence can happen to men and women, anybody, that the system has failed. This was all new to me. I'm tough. I'm from Baltimore, but I never had to plan on fighting a man 250 pounds that worked out and did pull ups in the snow every day like he was still in jail. I
Mhm.
don't have to fist fight a motherfucker in my own house every day. I shouldn't have to. I'm no match for
Yeah.
that. I'm a woman. So, it doesn't matter how tough I was, um, I didn't deserve it. So I said, you know what? I was so sickened how they treated me. And it was a woman district attorney, because the state files the charges. The laws are antiquated to like back in the 1950s, where domestic violence was a matter between a man and a woman in their domestic domicile, their home. No, this is 2025. They need these
Mhm.
laws to be updated things. So many facets. I said, you know what? I have this big platform from reality TV.
Mhm.
I'm going to use this platform to bring awareness to what happened to me. And I didn't give a shit about being embarrassed. People have me on blogs making fun of me. I blocked so many people, but you know what? I looked at the bigger picture of how many people I was helping, because at the time, this was like 9 years ago, there weren't many people talking about domestic violence.
Mm. Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm just going to start getting out here and using my platform. I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew God put a calling on my heart to get out here. Like, maybe all that bad had happened for some good to come out of it. And oh man, so much good has come out of it. We're talking, I'm going into my 10th year with Survive to Thrive Global. It's been a worldwide movement, yes. And
Congrats.
so many lives that I have personally, I get a little emotional, I'm sorry, touched and changed, when I never thought that just one person like me could make such a change and help so many people. And I'm so proud of myself. But beyond any TV show or any of that shit, this has been my biggest accomplishment in my life. And the biggest fuck you to the man who did this to me by coming forward and sharing my story, because you'd be surprised how many people have reached out to me, famous, non-famous, in every walk of life, that have come up to me at major black tie functions and said, thank you, whispered in my ear for talking about this. This happened to me, but I never had the courage to talk about it. Thank you. That
That's
means
amazing.
more to me than anything. Yeah, and for me, this is my legacy to leave behind. I don't have any children. Um, this is my lifetime legacy. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, as we speak, someone is dying or being abused. It's worldwide, and there's not enough resources. There's not enough help. And unfortunately, I don't believe in my lifetime I'll live to see many laws change.
Mm.
Um, and it's just sad, and it's so unnecessary, because the most things people are guilty of is just falling in love with the wrong person. And you know we don't fall in love with the maniac. We fall in love with the facade that they put on in the beginning, the representative, right? They're so
Mhm.
charming, because people are like, well, why would you go out with somebody like that? Oh, do you really think he said, oh, hey, I'm a woman beater, let's go out? No, it's all fake. They know how to groom their victims. It's narcissistic abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, verbal abuse. They don't have to put their hands on you. They can deplete your funds. They can coercively control your mind, emotionally control you, verbally, beat you down so bad where you feel like, you don't ever even want to live anymore. There's so many facets, and I've spoken in so many different arenas and places, and heard so many stories from people all over the world. And it's just, it wasn't all, the common denominator is they all thought that maybe that they would turn back into the person that they fell in love with. That's why they stayed, because it wasn't
Mm.
always all bad. You know what I mean?
Hopeless hope.
Yeah. And the 99.9% never get better, they get worse.
Mhm.
So my advice for anyone, if you can leave, but you have to have a plan, because a lot of the murders that you see on television happen after the victim has fled. And just say, I'm the woman and he's the husband, or whatever. If you ever leave me, I'm going to kill you. I don't want my kids around another man. They mean it. They'll come find you and the kids and take everybody out. You see it on the news all the time.
Mhm.
So it's normally after the victim has gotten to safety that they're hunted down, basically, by their perpetrator. I can't live without you, and I told you if you leave me, and they mean it, and it's really sad. So, I encourage everyone or anyone who knows, we all know somebody who's been through it, if we haven't ourselves, to try to get out and be a listening ear, and maybe try to offer some advice. But don't ever put yourself in harm's way either, because some people have been hurt helping a friend. They've gotten,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, the girlfriend goes over and tries to break it up, and the dude almost
Mhm.
both of them. That's happened.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
You got to kind of be careful of how much you help too, with getting
Yeah.
involved, because a lot of people, they'll leave and then they'll go back.
That's a
So
good way of looking at it. Okay.
yeah, so there's a lot of facets. And sorry, I got all emotional, but really,
No.
when people come up to me, I had a lady come up to me in Macy's in Brooklyn in the shoe department, and I was caught off guard because she came up and she said, Chrissy? I said, yes. She said, you don't know me. She said, but I heard you speak about domestic violence in Newark, New Jersey, and you were the person that made me decide to leave my abusive relationship. She said, can I hug you? I started crying. I'm in the middle of Macy's. I said, oh my
Wow.
God, you never know
Wow.
whose life you're impacting. That's why I say
Right.
everybody has something to say and something to offer and share with the world. It doesn't have to be
Mm.
domestic violence, but if you have a cause you believe in, get out and do something. It doesn't take money to share something on social media or
Especially these
support.
days.
Yeah, yeah. Like if
Wow.
you believe in animal rescue, You don't got to start one, but you can donate to one, or you can repost that person who has one's page, right?
For sure.
Yeah. So,
Yep. I
yeah.
like it. I like it. Love the message. Yep. I wasn't wrong for wanting to have you. So, from a business side, as a businesswoman, what has been the biggest lesson you've learned, and when it comes to building and maintaining a brand, really over time? What can you share about that?
Whew. It's not easy. I had started my own brand called Serving Looks a few years ago. I was in the
Okay.
hospital with a blood clot.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother episode.
Oh.
And I was in the hospital for a month. I almost died. I had 5 surgeries in 5 days. I was in a coma. The priest came, like it was really close. I'm permanently
Wow.
on with a blood thinner twice a day. I'm
Wow.
just happy to be here. Yeah. So
Wow.
when I was in that hospital for a month, it gave me a lot of time to think. And I literally was hooked up to machines and
Mm-hmm.
wasn't texting on the phone. I was out of it. And I just thought about all the places I hadn't been yet, all the things I haven't seen and done, and how none of this material crap my whole apartment's filled with meant anything. I just wanted to get home and see my 2 dogs, which are rescues,
Mm.
by the way. Nothing else mattered. Um, and I said, God, if you give me, the opportunity to leave this hospital, I want to make up for lost time. I want to write the book. I want to do my own show. I want to have my own brand, my own business, all the things I thought about doing, but I was so caught up making a lot. I had a marketing, well, I still do have a marketing company in Manhattan where I was working with plastic surgeons making a lot of money. And I was caught up so that money day to day, hustle and bustle. God sat my ass down, well, laid my ass down in that hospital bed for a month and gave me that time to think that this is not what you came to New York for. You got off track. You did not come to be in the medical field. And yeah, when I walked out of that hospital, it was raining, pouring down raining in the Bronx. I had my plastic bag with my belongings because I called an ambulance. I didn't plan on being in the hospital for. I
Yeah.
felt like in the ground in that dirty Bronx sidewalk. And I swear, as soon as I got home, I hit the ground running. I started my brand called Serving Looks. It's
Yeah.
cosmetics, logo apparel. I didn't realize e-commerce. Whoo, it's a lot of work. Stock photos, inventory, web
Wow.
hosting, ads.
Mm.
I don't want to do it.
Let them know.
And I still have all this inventory, which I'm liquidating a lot of it on eBay and Poshmark. I'm going to still keep the lip glosses and the logo apparel, but I bought lingerie, I bought jewelry, I bought clothes, I bought all this stuff, but then I realized I gotta list all this shit and take pictures of all this stuff. Boxes started coming from China, and I'm like, wait a minute, I bought too many variants. It was a lot. So lesson learned, but it wasn't a loss because I'm still selling the stuff. Um, like eBay is big. eBay does 2 billion transactions per day. So I find just selling off all the stuff that I bought for my personal website, putting it on a platform like that and letting them drive me the traffic has been
Mm-hmm.
moving the stuff much faster than me trying to say, hey, everybody, go check out my website.
Yeah.
It's too exhausting. Um, and then, with the nonprofit, it's a lot. And then we did season 1 of Finding Chrissy when I got out of the hospital, which is the producer Pete Petrelli from a company called Homes. What's the name? It's in Homestead now. Anyway. He's out of South Carolina. He was hitting me up for 2 years to do my own reality show. This guy had been following me on Instagram. He's like, "You need your own show. You're hilarious." I was like, "No, I'm so busy, so busy." Then I had Leon Cosby, Bill Cosby's nephew, hitting me up from
Yeah.
Atlanta, saying, "You need a book about your life. Your life is interesting. You have a story." I was like, "Yeah, but
Dude.
I'm so busy. I'm so busy." Once I got out of that hospital, I called Leon. I said, I'm ready to do the book. I called him Petrelli. I said, I'm ready to do the show. Pete was up here in a month with the whole crew. We did 6 episodes in 16 days. It's on Amazon Prime now and Tubi, called Finding
Mm-hmm.
Chrissy. And it's basically,
Okay.
I co-executive produced, co-directed, wrote my reality after reality TV, because what is it? You go from this big show where everybody knows you back to what? But then people still know you and they're still Googling you. You can't really go out on dates because guys have already Googled you. And a lot of them are intimidated, or they read a lot of bullshit that was like put out there, because not everything you see on the internet is true. It changed me where it's kind of like everybody relates you with that character from that show forever.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to show on my show what I'm doing now. Who am I? Who am I besides the show? The charity, my business, my dating life, my friends. It's normal. Like, I have a good life, and people got to see a better understanding of me just dating a fucking married man on Love and Hip Hop. Like, that's not all I was. I was so much more
Yeah.
than that. So we may be doing a season 2. I just spoke to Pete a week ago. We may be doing a season 2 because there's been a lot of updates.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's great news. And I still haven't finished the book. I'll tell you, writing this book about my life has been a very emotionally draining process.
Is it because you're going through the same moments? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like all those old feelings and memories that you pushed out for so long come to the surface. It's like, start I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, I remember that. Oh my God. But it needs to be done. And I think that will also lead to a lot of other opportunities once that book is done. And he's done a lot of Leon is a great guy. Like, he's done Jay Alexander from Fubu's books. He's done a lot of great projects, and he's really serious about his craft. So yeah, those are kind of the things I'm working on right now. Is definitely the book is my main focus, and Always Survive to Thrive Global is going to be my focus.
I love that.
Yeah, I came out in Rolling Stone this morning because it was Mental Health Awareness Month. And, mental health is really tied in with the domestic violence community. Big time.
So, again, this is great. Stay right there. Mental health, self-care. A lot of people talk about it now. They're really open about it now, though. How do you feel about it? That's 1. And 2, what do you do for your own well-being? Some people travel, some people cook as a therapy, some people, I don't know, do some yoga.
Shop.
What do you do? Shop.
Yeah. Not anymore. I used to be a shopaholic. I play with my pets. I've lost almost 50 pounds. I've gotten really more into my health, toning up, walking, going on nature hikes, yoga, weight training. I've always loved art. I've always been an art collector. I love going to museums. Going out to early events. I quit drinking. I might have 1 or 2 socially or with dinner, because I'm on the blood thinners now, and alcohol is actually a blood thinner, so it's not recommended. So, it's changed. And I guess it also comes with maturity. Like, I used to be Miss Party Chick Clubber in my 20s and 30s, and I had no regrets. I was out partying every night till like 5, 6 in the morning.
You enjoyed it.
I lived my life. But now I'm more focused on travel. And I said that in the hospital. I said, all I want to do is start selling off all this stuff that I don't even wear anymore and get rid of. And I just want to travel the world and have more life experiences. To me, that's what it's about now. And, help with more of the saving animals and with the domestic violence, things that matter, things that really leave a mark on the world that nobody's going to remember. Oh, Chrissy had on a pink shirt on last Friday. No, they're going to remember Chrissy helped me. She said something so profound to change my life. Like, that's the legacy I want to leave behind. Not just, I accumulated a bunch of junk.
I love this kind of conversation because I had topics with you without clear questions. Kind of, I wanted you to take me where you wanted to take me, and I'm loving this. Just what you said. obviously you've always had a huge influence on social media and whatnot. You've always used your platform to share your messages and whatnot, especially now that we've heard your stories and whatnot. If you had to give one message, um, you hope women, especially younger women coming up, who may go through similar situation or whatnot, and may think about like quitting or whatnot, what would you tell them?
Hmm.
One message.
Don't even think about it. You got to keep your eye on the bigger picture. Try to stay away from these men. A lot of these young men will try to trap you with a baby young and mess your whole plan up, your whole life up, and they'll be on to the next woman. Just really try to just focus. Like,
Mm.
make a plan. Find something you're passionate about and stick to it no matter what. No matter what your mother says, your friends say, you got to have a thick skin and you got to stick to the program. You want to be a winner, you got to stay focused. Like, we all have a winner inside of us, but sometimes we lose track, people, places, and things. I'm telling you, you just got to stay focused and you can get there quick if you stay focused. I got sidetracked a lot, but I still got there. I would have got there a lot sooner if I would have made better choices, but I never had a positive role model. But you don't need to have a positive role model. You just got to believe in yourself and
Mm.
love yourself. And people,
Mm.
I used to always wonder when people say, you need to love yourself. Well, love yourself. Like, they're the greatest love of all, Whitney Houston and all that. I'm like trying to figure this out. No one ever taught me self love.
Yeah.
Like, because nobody around me really loved themselves. My mother was using drugs and alcohol. My sister died from fentanyl.
Yeah.
A lot of people were just self destructing in front of me my whole life. And I thought it was kind of normal. Try to find someone in your life. I had a guidance counselor who believed in me at high school before I dropped out, and she would take me on modeling jobs and everything. This was just a woman in my school. Find
Yeah.
someone. This is my advice to any young woman or young man. Find someone who believes in you or is doing what you want to do. Find a mentor and ask them, can you help me? And if they say no, fuck them. They're assholes. Maybe they're not the mentor you thought they were. But 9 times out of 10, they probably might. And if they don't, find somebody else and learn,
Mm.
read. We are in the age of information. Go on YouTube
That part.
and learn anything. When I was growing up in the 80s, they used to come knocking on the door selling encyclopedia sets. You didn't have to go to the library to look shit up. Now, all you got to do is go on a computer.
Mm.
You know how
Or your
easy it is
phone.
to have it?
Mm.
You have it so easy now. There's no excuse not to become the best version of yourself. And we're all going to slip up. I did along the way, but you can always get it right back. It's when you fail is when you don't get back up. And I know too many people that just never got back up. My brother unalived himself 2 years ago. He gave up. I know too many people that have just given up, and don't give up. You just can't give up. No matter what the world throws at you, you got to just keep, you got to keep going. It's tough. Or
Mhm.
the world's going to step on you. Trust me.
Okay. I like it. I like it. So, mm, before we get into the, I would say, fun part, I'm just loving where you're taking us here. So, hmm, if you could, no, let me take it a different way. Because you've always had obviously, you have a fashion style, you glamorous, and you it seems like you're proud of it. Some people are kind of like hiding and they're just like, I'm a little different. You're embracing that. Um, in which is interesting for me when I'm looking at it because you can tell you're just proud of it and it's amazing. Um, what is something, because earlier we talked about misconception, but what is something that people will be surprised to learn about you?
That I'm shy if I like you. I get nervous. Like if I like a guy, woo, I'm like nervous and shy. Like,
Chrissy Monroe, shy? No.
yeah. If I like a
Wow.
guy, I'm like, Yeah,
Wow.
I get quiet, me. Yes. But I'm
Wow.
also very, I believe in traditional roles in relationships. I'm a very submissive woman if the man is worth submitting to, which is that's always
Mm,
something that can be a thought
that
out.
part.
Yeah. So I don't want to be the boss in the house. I want to be subservient to my man and wait on him. But he also has
Yeah.
to be a leader and a decision maker and someone I can trust, But yeah, that's definitely a side of me. Not many people have gotten to see is that submissive, soft
Mm,
Chrissy, the shy. But it's there. But it takes the
okay.
right man to bring it out for sure.
Okay. So you mentioned your daily life. You mentioned the right man. Anything I haven't. So for people who haven't seen your show, um, and I'm pretty sure they will check it. Is there anything going on in your life on that side?
Right now, I'm exploring dating apps,
Oh,
which I don't know.
2025 at its finest.
I don't know because it's not really my thing.
Hmm.
But I don't go out of the house that often. I'm a homebody,
Mm.
so who am I going to meet here? Nobody, right? So, but then again, I watch the ID channel and I see all these horror stories, and I'm like, do I want to go out there? Like, is this guy going to be like a serial killer? Like what? But I mean, I'm wise enough to know not to let anybody pick me up or to date safely, to meet them in a
Hmm.
public place and things like that. And now I'm dating older. I used to date
Mm.
younger, and it really got me nowhere. I'm dating
Oh.
older now. I'm looking more for a more mature man that is already past the hoe stage of his life. I
Mm.
don't know. Some men never get past that though. Some of them hoe till they ride it down into that coffin.
I was about to say, are you sure it's an age thing or?
It's a maturity thing. It's an individual thing. Some men,
Mm.
I just want a man that can stimulate me mentally, and that's a gentleman. I like a man that has manners, that opens the car door, that has class, that can teach me things, and who treats me like a lady and cares, really genuinely cares about me and my well being, and
Hmm.
just doesn't objectify me. Because yeah, I got the curves and the body, and I know when I walk into a room, that's
The
been
thing.
kind of persona of
Yeah.
who I made myself. Well, not even made myself. It's since high school, since puberty. It it was that. Like I started filling out, and guys started noticing. Um, but then I also knew that, damn, this is to my advantage. Like this is a good thing because now I'm going out. Guys are just sending me over drinks, and I'm at the mall, and the guys just offering to buy me a bag. I'm like, what?
Oh.
So the looks don't hurt. And any woman that sits and complains about pretty privilege or whatever, shut up. Like, you'd really be crying if you didn't get any of that attention. It doesn't hurt. I'll tell you that much. And why do you
Mm.
think that the beauty business is like $1 trillion industry? Who doesn't want to look better, men and women, right? Physical appearances do matter. I don't care what anybody says. No one would
I
be.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
like that's the first thing that men are visual. That's the first thing that attracts a man. They're not saying, "Oh, I love your personality." No, they're seeing this and that and then it's, "Oh yeah, can I take you out?" So, but yeah, I'm trying the online dating thing. I maybe will do an update in a few months and see if I met my Prince Charming
Okay.
still alive.
So, okay, 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 okay. Who
One of them
knows?
got in the shed tied up.
People will have to keep up with you to know. So, you mentioned traveling too.
Yes.
You could go anywhere in the world. Let's say top three, because there are so many beautiful places on this planet. Where would you go? Or let's say top four to make it a little easier.
I've been quite a few places, but my next on my bucket list is Amalfi Coast, Italy. I've been to.
Okay.
I want to go to Lake Como. Is that how you say
Mm-hmm.
Lake Como? Lake Como.
Mm-hmm.
I've been to Greece, but
Oh,
I went for my 21st birthday. I'm 52 now, so I'm sure it's changed a lot. I want to go back to Greece. Oh man,
okay.
Mykonos, beautiful. Oh, The olives are like this. The food is so fresh. The
Water
people
is
are,
beautiful.
oh, you could stand in the sea and just look straight down at your feet. I mean, it's just beautiful, like gorgeous. And believe it or not, I've never been to Dubai, which,
Oh, that's a hot place now.
yeah, I get 50-50 on that though. I have some girlfriends that live there. They're kind of like, it's too Vegas-y, kind of, because it's all pretty much
Yeah.
new, like built up and made. It's not like really like the ancient ruins where you go see the Acropolis in Greece, or So, but I still would like to just go just for the desert experience. Yeah.
Wow.
So those would be four. What else? I don't know. I don't really. Definitely just more Italy. Oh, Monaco.
That's Mykonos vibes. You staying in that kind of vibe?
No, Monaco
Different.
is the south of France. I've been to the south of France, but I didn't go down further enough to Monaco. I went to Montpellier, but
Mm-hmm.
Monaco is where all the rich people are, where they made that movie with Steve Martin back in the day, Dirty Rotten
Mm-hmm.
Scoundrels. Remember that movie? Where they were
Mm-hmm.
scheming all the rich people? I want to go
Oh
there.
yeah.
It's a wealthy little enclave of
Kind of
the,
island in the south. That's
yeah,
cool. Okay. Okay. You giving ideas to people.
yeah,
Never thought about
Monaco.
that. Okay. That's
Meet
pretty
my rich
cool.
husband in Monaco and Coins Untold.
Who knows?
You never
Hey,
know.
you never know. You speak into existence right now.
Exactly. So yeah.
All right. Chrissy, what's next for you? You mentioned potentially your season two, your book.
Yes.
What's next? What can we expect?
Well, season two, more with Survive to Thrive Global. I'm always looking to try to collaborate with people in different cities to get them
Mm-hmm.
more involved with spreading um, awareness. My mission statement for my organization is to spread awareness and education with the goal of prevention. And
Okay.
it's very simple. I mean, I can't go and grab somebody out of their house and say leave, but we all can try to inspire or educate someone we may know who's going through it to prevent them from being harmed.
Okay.
So just teaching more people about domestic violence, more traveling for sure, and to
Mm-hmm.
hopefully finally settle down. I've been engaged four
Okay.
times. I'm like the runaway bride.
No,
We're
you're
like,
just missing that last finger.
yeah,
Get to that five.
yeah. No, this one will be it. I'm ready to
Okay.
settle down. You know what it was? My life was so much fun, and I've had so many great men come and go, and just experiences. I always kind of and thought I was going to miss out on the next best thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's so
Yeah.
great. There might be somebody better. That was all the wrong thinking. But then again, I'm very content single. Like I'm more afraid of someone coming in and disturbing my peace at this point in time.
Yeah.
But I would like someone to share life with at this point, yeah, and settle down with, and maybe change my depends when I'm older.
Okay.
Change my
Hey, messages out there.
yeah,
That's
so that's
funny.
probably it. Simple. My life is simple now in a good way. I enjoy,
Love it.
regular things. Ultimately, my ultimate goal would to be have some land upstate and start a small pet sanctuary for like
Mm.
rescue, senior pets and dogs and
Mm-hmm.
cats and things. So yeah, and have a garden. Yeah, and just
Okay.
be in love. I want to be in love. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Chrissy Monroe is looking for love.
yeah.